Well, hello, friends. Welcome back to the Creative Training Techniques podcast. If you have not already done so, please subscribe. We'd love for you to get this in your inbox every week. And we would love for you to give us a rating as well. 5 stars are always wonderful. Anyway, we're glad that you're here this week, and we're going to be focusing in on delegation. Now, there's a difference between dumping and delegating, and we don't want to dump work. We want to delegate. So let's look at this. I know for me, oh my word, sometimes I'm just holding a project too close to the chest because I'm not trusting someone else with it. I'm not respecting their talent because I think I'm the only one that can do it. I don't plan on how I'm going to work things out with one another, but it is really an important ability. Now, for some of you, you're like, I'm not in a position that I can delegate. That doesn't mean that this podcast today isn't for you, because there are times when you delegate, and it could be at home or outside the office. So we really want to make sure that you get into a routine of important tasks and decisions and allow people to take ownership of that while also sharing in the success. Sometimes we give people these projects and then we take all of the success for ourselves, and that is absolutely not helpful. We don't want to delegate projects when somebody is already overworked. All right, people? A lot of that's happening these days. We need to make sure that we're hiring more people. And it's so hard right now. It is so hard to hire really great talent. But it is important that we delegate, but not to the nth degree where they can't manage all the projects that you have on them. So why should we delegate? Obviously, it frees up time. For me, I have to be okay with giving up my quote unquote, my client, and allowing my trainers and my contractors to be able to take on that project for themselves. Recently, I was working on a project and I was just, I was in a state of demotivation. Don't know if that's ever happened to you, but when you own a company, it still happens. It doesn't stop just because you own it. So I was going through a little bit of a funk and I was unable to really just get this project moving. And I just decided, you know what, Becky, every day that you let it go, you're not getting your consultant what they need. So what I did was I got a hold of another consultant and said, hey, would you be willing to take on this little project? It's not super big, but I would love to just let you do this design piece. They were thrilled because they haven't had the opportunity to design for me before. So they wanted to show off their skills in doing that. And they had the time. They had the freedom, which I didn't have in that moment. Not only did I not have the time, but I was overworked. I was demotivated. So I was like, dang, why didn't I ask her sooner? So delegating can really give you that freedom that you need to then be able to do the other parts of your job quicker, faster, and better. How do you go about delegating correctly? All right. We want to make sure that we communicate, we set our time frames, we let people run with it, we get out of the way, we check in at certain dates. I like to follow up an email saying, hey, this is what we agreed to. And then I give a reminder the day before it's due, like, hey, just want to check in. Our deadline is tomorrow. I have our call for 9:00. Is that still good for you? Those kinds of things. The best people that delegate are crystal clear on what they want, when they want it, how they want it, what it should look like. I like to give people templates because templates show what you're looking for. One of the things that we do for our marketing webinars is we have a template, which I love templates. I feel like it creates a reproducible product. And one of the things that we have is a high-level flow. Now, my definition of the high-level flow means I could take this, let's say, someone else designed it. I could take it and I could actually run that webinar. But other consultants thought it more of a high-level timing flow where you just put in high-level ideas or concepts. So what I needed to do when I delegate to someone else the design of curriculum or content, I need to give them an example of what good looks like. And when you do that, they are far more willing and able to be successful. Now, Now, what are some things that I would recommend that you delegate? I would say any task or piece of a task that you think they would be good at if they have the skill set for it. And at times, they may not have the skill set, but it might be a small enough project where they could learn the skill set. So you come alongside them, coaching them, and they can learn this new skill, which is really valuable. In today's workforce and workplace, people want to not only love what they're doing, but they want to feel like they're growing. So this is a great way that you can come alongside someone, not have to take all the time to do it, but have time to coach and really get to that bigger picture. And maybe it's just a 3-minute coaching session. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes every single time. Delegating things that are short term that's really helpful because it's easy. So I like to call someone on a Monday, say, hey, do you have time this week? Yes, I do. Great. Can we have it by Friday? Those little short term you're far more successful at getting what you want in smaller bite-sized pieces. Instead of saying, all right, here's the whole huge project, do it all. That can be overwhelming when you delegate that. So I like to keep the time frames short and remember that they may be learning and it may take them a little longer. So if they need a little more time, be gracious about that. Now, delegating is a developmental skill. So if you're not doing it great right now, that's okay. One of the books that I read a long time ago, and it's been updated since, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, of course, by Stephen Covey, that really set a guideline for me to help with delegating. And I recommend that book, even though it's old school, retro. It really is a book that's just got a lot of great tips. So I want you to think about reading that to give yourself some new ideas. So I know life is busy. Thank you for taking these 5 minutes out of your life to listen to this tip. And now you can pause and ask yourself, what's on my plate that's short, sweet, and small that I could give to someone else? Praise, encourage, and really just let them fly and run with it. And then also afterwards, just be really grateful for what they've done. Thanks for listening. We will see you next Friday.